On March 25th of this year, BBC reported that Amos Lee, a teen blogger from Singapore, had received asylum in the United States. His crime was none other than posting comments online which were contradictory to his country's political and religious views. Imprisoned on 2 separate occasions for dissenting YouTube videos, he sought refuge in a country which would not suppress his liberty to express his opinions as an individual. While such occurrences largely drown in the media's coverage of President Trump, the questions they raise about the First Amendment and the basic American values it contains may be among the most important matters our nation faces. As I stand at this podium exercising my own freedom of speech, please consider this question. For how many of us is the right to freedom of speech an entitlement, and for how many of us is it a privilege, a liberty we are responsible for protecting? Believe it or not, in many countries around the world, including a number in Europe, free speech is actually considered a sort of atrocity. According to one Danish director of legal affairs, the United States preservation of free speech equates to protection and even justification of hate speech. In many ways, this perspective is increasingly consistent with modern American ideas as concerns about offending certain groups become more prevalent. However, most still seem to embrace free speech and simply disagree on how to define it. Further questions, of course, arise from the histories of both the idea of free speech and the issue of hate speech. Many of the Founding Fathers died for such constitutional liberties so that future generations could enjoy them. They, however, had neither social media sites nor YouTube, and likely could not have even imagined them. Academic sources discussing hate speech reveal a surprising origin: the communist-era Soviet Union. Even today, the old wounds of the Cold War still darken our ability to interact diplomatically with Russia, and therefore any such historical association has a powerful potential for altering opinions. The distinct possibility exists, of course, that some countries believe the Soviet suppression of hate speech was simply an abuse of a good idea. Nonetheless, in America, the 9th Amendment is as important as the first. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people.